Ghost of Tsushima is an open-world samurai game that I have dreamed and waited for a very long time. Sucker Punch Productions really pulled it off as they created a breathtaking and gorgeous world where you can play as a lone samurai and explore the depths of Tsushima. This is Eric from PlayDiscuss, and this is a 5-minute review of Ghost of Tsushima. The game is set at the time when the first Mongol invasion in Japan happened. The main villain, Khotun Khan, a fictional figure and supposedly the leader of the invasion in Tsushima, gathered his men to defeat all samurai in the island. Even though the samurai knew that they were outnumbered, they still gathered for an all-out attack and tried to stop Khotun Khan. Unfortunately, almost every single one of the samurai died after the battle. Unbeknownst to the Mongol, Jin Sakai survived and began his desperate journey to save Tsushima and avenge the fallen. I really like the storytelling of Ghost of Tsushima. It's easy to follow, and the characters, may it be an ally or a villain, are likable as well. And you also have the chance to take these character-specific side quests that give each major character their own story arc that focuses on their own struggles and how the Mongol invasion affects them. The way I see it, the gameplay is composed of two methods: to honor the way of the samurai by fighting the Mongols head on, or become a ghost and assassinate the enemies silently like a thief. The combat gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima is easy to understand as they teach the players how the game works starting on the most basic aspect. There are light attacks that can quickly deal damage to the enemies, heavy attacks that can break through enemies' defenses, a block and parry button to counter incoming attacks, and a dodge button. But what makes the combat more unique compared to the other games is the addition of stances. It's sort of like a fighting style where you can change during battle on a press of a button. There are several stances in the game and each one of them has their own moveset, combos, and strengths. Like the stone stance for example. It's strong against enemies using swords, while the wind stance is strong against spearmen. To avoid spoilers, I won't be telling you about every stance. Instead, I'm telling you that these stances made the combat challenging, because you need to think fast and swap between these stances depending on the enemies you're facing. Thankfully, fighting enemies head-on is amazingly well done. They did a good job making the combat gameplay thrilling. On the other hand, I honestly think that the stealth part of the game is the weakest aspect of Ghost of Tsushima. AI just doesn't work as you expect on an advanced level. It makes the game less challenging as the enemies sometimes foolishly walk around hearing nothing even though their allies are dying one by one around them. And they tend to stop hunting you after a minute as they start looking somewhere else. But what's beautiful on how stealth works in this game is how Jin Sakai assassinates his enemies. It looks stunning. You can also use bow and attack enemies far away, and there are tools that you can use that support the stealth approach of the ghost playstyle, like kunai, smoke bombs, poison darts, wind chimes that distract enemies, and several other tools. And I also want to mention these cool boss battles and duels against your enemies where you will confront them in a battle to death. In these type of matches, you cannot use your tools or even your bow, just your sword and your ability to dodge and parry enemy attacks. I can imagine that this is how most people depict how samurai duels happened before, and Sucker Punch Productions really capture the essence of how awesome these battles are. The character progression in Ghost of Tsushima are based on technique points. To put it simply, these are points you receive as you defeat enemies, finish quests, and conquer enemy territories. The acquired points can be used to unlock new skills and abilities, but there is no really level gap in the game since you can play straight through the main story and it's still doable. Sure, it will be a little more difficult, but it's still doable. And these new movesets and abilities you learn will make things easier for you. New combos to unlock, new ways to use your tools, and sneaking will be much more effective. Aside from those, you can also do these mini tasks around the map that will make Jin Sakai more durable, like bathing in hot baths that increases your max health, honoring shrines that unlock new charms to equip, and bamboo strike minigames that increase your resolve. It is really effective how they implement the character development in this game, because you really don't need to grind in order to finish the game, which is really good, especially for players who just want to play through the main story and be done with it. But still, leveling up is still a fun way to do since it does feel very rewarding. The incredible art direction of the game encouraged me to explore the whole beauty of Tsushima. Riding your horse throughout the perfect scenery combined with the realistic graphics is lovely to look at. In fact, It's so beautiful that I am pretty sure that I used the photo mode hundreds of times while I am playing it. The design of the characters and the environment are spot on what traditional Japanese aesthetics should look like. And as an option, you can play the whole game in Kurosawa mode, which features a black and white cinematic feel into the game. I personally recommend this game to literally anyone who owns a PlayStation. The open world is very appealing, the combat is fun, and the story is worth listening to. For that, I'm gonna give it an L for being a legendary samurai game. That's it for this video. If you want more 5-minute reviews, don't forget to subscribe.